Hi, folks. It's CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we're right across the river from Bossier City, Louisiana. It's a Red River, Northwest Louisiana. Come check us out. We're a great vacation spot. We're a great layover spot as you're traveling on your vacation. In the distance, you'll hear a train. I used to live really close to that train, like maybe a block from it, you know, uh, like a little block. So Uh, the windows are open. It's not overly disturbing to me now. It's a great day. Wonderful, wonderful weather. Glad to get some relief from the heat of the summer. Yeah. Fall and spring, my favorite times of the year. So the point of this video, basically, I'm here with the prediction. Now, I recently went to see The Exorcist Believer. And since that time, at first, it got a lot of pushback, a lot of YouTube vloggers, especially the ones who are seeking sponsorship, uh, have trash talked the movie. Turns out, now they're backpedaling on that, or the comments are kind of giving some backpedaling on that, and it is being regarded as a decent sequel. You're just not gonna get too many movies that are going to hold up. Horror, drama, anything otherwise. There just aren't too many movies that hold up to what was coming out in the early 70s, the new Hollywood classic era, which was um, very realistic style of filmmaking, minimalist music and everything. This movie doesn't hold up to the original Exorcist, but it is far superior than any of the sequels. Um, it doesn't try to tell the epic tale that um, that Exorcist II: Heretic tried to tell uh, with a stripped down budget. Because with The Exorcist, they really weren't watching Warner Brothers Studio. They really weren't watching William Friedkin too much. They had a lot going on, and by the time they realized, hey, we want to come in, we want to step in, we want you to strip it. We want you. It was like so much was already done that it was like, uh, back off. We're going to do this our way, kind of thing. And you could, and that's great. And so you ended up getting a really great movie, and one of the reasons why. A 9 month shoot is that there was a fire and the whole thing had to be rebuilt. you know, uh, there were issues. So a curse movie kind of thing. A lot of us know about that. So Exorcist 2 was not a great movie, but it was not. I don't think it deserved uh, the smack that it got. But I think people wanted almost a redoing of The Exorcist, like Reagan gets possessed again, repossessed, which, by the way, Linda Blair did do Repossessed. That's not an Exorcist movie, but it really should be. She did a short video called The Heckling, which was interesting. She played the possessed child, she played the mother, she did some shtick. It was great, and basically that got turned into a longer project called Repossessed in 1990. Came out the same time as the next Exorcist sequel, Exorcist 3, um, Legion. And it was basically they were in the theater around the same time, really. Uh, except, Repossessed was uh, shot on a smaller budget and blah blah blah. It was a spoof of The Exorcist. Linda Blair was very funny, and Leslie Nielsen did great. Okay, so as very comedic guy. Uh, so anyway, and I think the Hotel Six guy or one of them, I don't know, was in there. Anyway, but yeah, Exorcist 3, and then of course we get uh, um, Billy Babbitt, and Chucky, Brad Dourif is the Gemini killer in that. And a lot of people have like put the movie down as not being the same as The Exorcist. And of course, no, 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 no. But the writing, the dialogue, and the meter and everything, very, very similar to the book of The Exorcist, the novel, which I read, which it is a sequel to the novel. It literally is a sequel to the novel, not so much a sequel to the movie The Exorcist. You know. Now, one thing I had a little problem, and I was thinking about this the other day. Exorcist, the original, takes place starting in October, Washington D.C. in October, and the exorcism in the book takes months. And from everything going forward in this, even if it's a rapid progression, uh, it just the different hospital visits and everything like that. So it starts Halloween, you know, so that's November and December. Even before you're going to see snow. Why is there no snow in Washington D.C. in the wintertime in The Exorcist? And they even had to like paint leaves to make it look like. Yeah, so that's that one flaw in The Exorcist, the movie, that would have added to some realism. Yeah. And also, it would have made it plausible for Dennings to be at the foot of the steps and slip and fall down the steps. It would have added to the mystery of, did he really fall down the steps, or was he pushed out of the window? You know, uh, even with the head flipped around, it was just Uh, but anyway, that's Lieutenant Kinderman, who we visit in Exorcist 3. Okay, so now we have the two prequels, and Rennie Harland did the retooling of the Paul Schrader that Paul Schrader did Dominion, the prequel to The Exorcist, and the studios didn't like it, so they got Rennie Harland to reshoot most of the movie using some of the sets and everything like that. And actually, the sets were from some of them were from the Gangs of New York, retooled or repurposed and everything, and they actually had snow there in theirs. So anyway, uh, then we had the TV series, and the TV series, Angela Rance was Reagan McNeil. We got the mid-season twist that she was Reagan in that first season, and so Catherine was her daughter. Catherine and Angela get possessed. Well, that is the name of those are the names of the two girls who get possessed in this new movie. So there's some homage there. Uh, just so that you know, David Gordon Green, he never said that the other things that happened in the franchise couldn't be considered canon. He just said that he wasn't specifically addressing them head on. You know what I mean? There's a certain that's some of that's right now left up to interpretation for people criticizing Exorcist Believer, and then criticizing his work as disregarding all the other prequels and all the other things that came before it. And that's not at all what he said or what he's done. Even in pre-production and writing the script, even before he started. So whatever it is. But here's my prediction. First off, a couple of them. One's already coming true. I went to see it the night before the official opening at Thursday, and I did a little video. And then I watched all the traditional vloggers, the ones that vlog for sponsorship. So when you're trying to placate to viewership for likes and subscribes, you're really just gonna say what people want you to say so that you can vibe with them, and you're trying to, it's not quite sincere. Not to say that it's entirely dishonest, but there's just something when you're doing this. I'm just talking for people, but when you're really doing it for uh, to sell merch, your own merch, and you're doing it, there's something selloutish about it, and it's not, you're no longer a fan uh, just talking about a movie that or a genre that you like, good or bad. You're at this point, you're trade. You're trying to Yeah, whatever. So, you know, I say trade like it's a bad thing. I mean it in a commercial sense here, but then again, whatever. And never mind. Uh, let me rephrase that. um, um, some of the vloggers are placating, and in doing so, they have unduly trashed uh, the Exorcist believer. Uh, and then, of course, now it's getting there in the comments. There's a fair amount saying, "Oh no, it's actually really good." Uh, as far as an Exorcist sequel goes. No, maybe it doesn't hold up to the original Exorcist. Well, that's one of the best films ever made in general. Uh, not even just a horror movie, but it's just one of the best movies that has ever been made. At a time when Hollywood was doing some of its best, studios were doing some of their best work by bringing in independent filmmakers, giving them uh, a budget, a great budget to work with, and then really letting them come in and bring the newness. And that's where we get movies like Taxi Driver. You know, Robert De Niro actually was in one of William Friedkin's first movies. That's where we get Stanley Kubrick movies. That's where we get uh, yeah, some of the greats. We get Scorsese. Who was in the Ellen Burstyn follow up. Actually, she suggested he direct Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, which she won her Oscar, and then later on that got turned into the TV show Alice. But this is about The Exorcist, the Believer, and Ellen Burstyn does make a return here. I feel like she's a little bit underused. I've said that, but yeah, no. Now we're starting to get after that. We realize, oh my God, it's gonna bomb. It's gonna, that's what people were saying. It's gonna. The movie is doing really well. It's already made its production back. Uh, that first opening weekend, it's worldwide 47 million. You know, uh, and then. Uh, and it's still people are still seeing it. People are still going to see it. So, but then you're going to get your Blu-ray releases, your disc release. You're going to get your digital release. You're going to get um, packaging for taking this movie and being able to package it with other Exorcist collections, and including a 50-year anniversary of the. You know what I mean? So there's all that, and then you package it with other franchise films, and then you'll be able to package it with just other random films, uh, or whatever. So I mean, there's the marketing on this is going to be great, and there's a fair amount of money that's going to be made off of that. And then here's the prediction: uh, Leslie Odom Jr. is the father of the girl Angela who becomes possessed. One of the girls who becomes possessed in uh, The Exorcist Believer, and he's a photographer. And while the girls are out in the woods doing whatever they do to, you know, then um, there is a family. He's taking a photo of this family, and the little boy is being cranky and everything like that. And as he's taking the photo, there's a face of a demon that shows up in his camera, almost goes unnoticed or unmentioned. And then later on, he's looking at the photos that he's taken of this family, and they kind of do the whole the ring thing, where the faces of the family, all of them except for the little tiny boy, they become very skewed. And the little boy's face stays clear. Here's my prediction for the next Exorcist movie, or one of them coming up. This family, we're gonna see more of them. Uh, they're gonna get mentioned again, because the demon is in the photo of that family. That's what we have coming forward, that to look forward to. That particular family. Uh, and so when you go see the movie, you'll see it and you look for it, and it's got the that's the demon face flash kind of thing, and it doesn't go with the the Eileen Dietz, you know, sunken eyes and uh, uh, you know, uh, it's a different. It's very very blurred, but that's you're gonna see that. You're gonna see that when you see the movie. If you see it, I rated it uh, S for streaming. Uh, most of my movies, I was like, yes, S for streaming, standard streaming, and Premiere or whatever. I don't think I would want to see it in the 4D real time X or anything like that because that's the one where they occasionally they have seats that vibrate or they have odors that come through, and it's like this is not a movie I think that I want to smell. There's a couple of times where the movie refers to the odor of the girls. I don't know that I'd want to experience those odors, if you know what I mean. But anyway, and they think boys are icky. So, yeah, that's my prediction. One prediction is that once people get their heads out of their ass about this being an Exorcist movie and it's kind of a rite of passage to trash whatever Exorcist movie is being presented for your particular generation by comparing it to the original, and also people are now trashing on the original Exorcist because it's dated and boring and yeah. But this movie, the Exorcist the Believer, gave people almost exactly what they wanted that they didn't get in other Exorcist movies: a direct uh, possession story. Two girls this time, around the same age, and then we get a visitation from Ellen Burstyn. I think is underused in the movie. Um, I hope we'll see her again. And if what they have set up in the climax, or the not, or the denouement of the movie, the part of the movie that comes after the climax, if we get that, if they follow through with that, if they really do, it's going to be outstanding. Knowing that the previous movies are not necessarily discarded, the sequels, they're not necessarily discarded, they're just not overtly uh, tended to in the narratives, you know. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now. In a couple of weeks, I'll have a little bit more to say about some other things that could be happening in this franchise. But I do like it. I think it's my second video about it. You know, so one movie gets two videos from me. One kind of like light spoilers and everything, and then this one is like, yeah, it's there's some deeper stuff going on here. None of the reviewers that I've talked about or that I've looked at have referenced that family with the little boy that's being photographed, and have really pieced together a connection, which is a prediction that that family is going to show up in a future Exorcist film. There are at least two more of them in this trilogy, you know. And I think what they're doing basically is they're using this first movie to set up um, Leslie Odom Jr. for probably to take on the role that Chris McNeil played in this one, which was she had experience with possession, so she went forth helping other people, and I think he's going to take it maybe as his calling to help other people. So, and the who are dealing with demonic infestation, and it's not so much subtext. What's getting mentioned in these movies is the community, you know, and that got mentioned in Halloween. So apparently, community is a very important theme uh, for David Gordon Green. So, and I concur with that. You know, I like that. I like that idea. Um, anyway, um, it's a good movie, and you'll see people get once they get over this whole let's tear it down because it's an Exorcist movie that's not the Exorcist. Once they get their heads out of their ass and they realize this is probably one of the better demonic possession movies since The Exorcist, uh, you'll see a turnaround on public opinion about that. Okay, love and light as I talk about The Exorcist. Peace and good night.